So today's report will be many, many things. It will include the search for the truth, the checking of facts, and the shattering of the reality that your reality TV president would just love you to believe. This is a great bit of video, a great straight-up measuring of the truth from Jake Tapper last night on CNN. You got to see it. Now, keep in mind, the subsequent pursuit of the truth has a long, storied history on television. What you're about to see, this great video from last night, it's far more gonzo than this classic exercise in TV truth-telling.
Now let's meet our next team of challengers. What is your name, please?
My name is Hunter Thompson.
My name is Hunter Thompson.
My name's Hunter Thompson.
That's all we have time for. It's time for you now to mark your ballots. So mark them immediately without change, without any consultation whatsoever. Vote now, please, panel, for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All right, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 2, Bud. I thought he was a nice, likable fella. And if I were a Hell's Angel, I'd rather beat him up than either of the other 2 guys.
I don't want to say anything mean about the Hells Angels. They may come and get me with their bicycle chains. But I voted for number 2 because even though he was mean to them at the beginning, at the end he said that they were brave fellas trying to get back on their good side.
Barry Nelson.
Well, anybody who undertakes the kind of thing he did to study them and so forth would have a lot to worry about. Number 2 looks worried.
Kitty.
I, too, voted for number 2. I voted for him because he knew Kesey, and number 1 didn't know that Kesey's group was called the Merry Pranksters. And I read all about this in Tom Wolfe's piece in the Tribune, so I know all about the whole thing.
Well, there we are. We'll find out now which one of these 3 gentlemen in truth is Hunter Thompson. Will the real Hunter Thompson please stand up?
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Man, Dr. Thompson, you called it then, didn't you? We're all drowning in Richard Nixon and Roy Cohn's foul afterbirth. And as easy as it might have been to tell TV truths, well, back then, today we have our fantastic rundown from CNN just last night that uncovers each and every untruth, lie, and falsehood that DJT so confidently offers his gullibles and deplorables who still buy his jive. Jake Tapper, he ain't buying it, because the price of everything, including the truth, is on the rise hugely. Now, you may ask who's consulting Trump on these falsehoods. Well, we have a kind of cool bit of video, very insightful, that'll reveal the inner workings of a high-level meeting between Trump and the person that he values the most. But first, most importantly, our featured story from Jake Tapper on CNN last night. To quote the X-Files, the truth is out there, no matter what Trump claims.
He's claimed several times over the last week that prices on gas and eggs and groceries have dropped dramatically. Here's what he has said today about energy and gas prices, as well as earlier this week.
Energy just hit $1.98 in a couple of states. It's way down. You have gasoline that hit $1.98 yesterday in a couple of states. Gasoline yesterday in 3 states hit $1.98 a gallon.
Here to fact check for us is CNN's fact checker Daniel Dale. Daniel, is there truth in this?
No truth to any of those claims, Jake. So on the days the president was referring to there, last Wednesday and Thursday, there was not a single state that had its average gas price any lower than $2.70. So nowhere near $1.98. Now people might say, well, the president didn't say average prices, he said prices. So maybe there were some gas stations in some states selling for $1.98. I asked the firm Gas Buddy about this. Gas Buddy tracks tens of thousands of stations across the country. They found zero stations anywhere in the country, anywhere below $2.19. So that's wrong too. Now I'll add that I asked the White House about this. They not only couldn't corroborate the president's claim, but they introduced another lie in sending me a response about the previous lie. They said that if big city reporters actually went out to middle America they would see that gas prices there are at record lows. Well, I looked into that as well, Jake. Also not true. We're nowhere near record lows anywhere in this country.
Oh, you city slicker, Daniel Dale.
Terrible.
President Trump also has been talking about egg prices, which spiked under President Biden, we should note, and President Trump, largely because of this bird flu outbreak and steps that have been taken. Here's what President Trump said on Tuesday.
We just had a big Easter egg hunt at the White House, thousands and thousands of eggs, and the price was down 87%. As you know, the cost of eggs has come down like 93, 94% since we took office, and they're pretty much normally priced now.
Okay, I just went to the grocery store. That is not my personal experience. Now, I am a big city reporter.
You are indeed.
And it's possible that he's being misinformed by people, but a 93 or 94 or 87% drop in egg prices since he took office?
Yeah, so as you know, having gone to a store and everyone else who's gone to a store knows, none of those numbers is anywhere close to correct. So let's start with retail prices, the prices that shoppers are actually paying. In March, those rose to a record high, $6.23 per dozen. That's about a 26% increase from the month President Trump returned to office in January. Now, we don't yet have the April data. That's important. We may well have seen, I would say probably saw a decline this month. We don't know how much.
Because they're importing some eggs, right?
They are importing. There's a whole plan to reduce the prices. However, we know that it's nowhere near 87, 93, 94%. If it was a 93% drop, Jake, from the month President Trump took office, eggs would be selling for less than 38 cents per dozen. We know that's not the case. Now, if you talk to the White House about this, they'll point to wholesale prices, not the prices people are actually paying. Those wholesale prices have dropped dramatically since the week he took office, about 52%. But again, those aren't the prices consumers are paying. Second of all, 52, while big, is not 87, 93, or 94.
For eggs, you're talking?
For eggs,
For 52, okay.
Yeah.
The president has also just generally been talking about grocery prices going way down.
Mm-hmm.
Way down, that's his term, way down. This is something we've heard him say multiple times over the past week, including today.
Groceries are down. Groceries have come down. It's all coming down. Prices are down. Groceries are down.
So look, it's April. I'm not saying any of this is his fault, like in terms of the current prices. He's only been president for not even 100 days. Right. But are grocery prices down?
They are not down. Okay. Absolutely not down. First of all, they generally rise just with normal inflation, leaving aside the tariffs he imposed on pretty much every country in the world, 10% in early April. But even through March, before the tariffs took effect, prices were up. So in March, we had a 0.49% increase over February average grocery prices. People might say, oh, 0.49%, that's not very big. That's actually the biggest month-to-month jump, Jake, since 2022, October 2022. In terms of year-over-year comparison, that March price was about a 2.4% increase over the previous March. So we're talking substantial increases. Again, I'm not blaming President Trump for that. You're not blaming President Trump. But
So in fairness, I don't know, can you blame Trump entirely? I mean, he's only doing what his closest advisor, the one person he trusts most, is telling him to do. Now, here's an exclusive look at President Trump and that one person whose opinion he most respects. Now, after watching this high-level meeting of the minds, well, everything about his decision-making should make perfect sense.
Take a look at some of these charts. In numerous categories, we're lower than the world. Let me explain. Well, the test right here, take a look. You can test too much. You do know that. What it says is when you have somebody that has it, where there's a case, it will last. No, but you're not reporting it correctly. We have cases. Our testing, I believe, this is the testing, yeah. Yep. Check it out. New cases, new cases, new cases. The top one, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. We test more. Now take a look. Death is way down from where it was. Take a look at this. These are the tests. It leveled out and it's going down. But you have to look at this. This is, excuse me, where it was is much higher than where it is right now. But you don't know that. That's my report as of yesterday. Wait a minute. You have to go by where, look, here is the United States. You have to go by the cases. What's called science. We have more cases. Don't we get credit for that? Well, we show more cases. They are dying. That's true. And it is what it is. Now it's going down again. And, there are those that say the world is so very, just read the manuals, read the book. This one didn't reach my desk.